moved out of their land over a period of 75 years, right? And it is very informative and, very like eye-opening to how multiple powers were involved to get these people out of their own land, just for political purposes, right?
Yeah.
And just to enlighten people for a bit more, got something called, listed something called Iraq for sale, right?
Yeah.
This is talks about the Iraq War, and some of the hidden motives that the American government admits to later on. The damage is done about why they went to Iraq.
Yeah.
So it's a similar process right now. It's not oil in Palestine; it's gas. So here in Gaza, it's very rich in its gas. So Israel's it's always about, it's money driven. It's for political purposes why they're doing this. What's happening right now? It's never been about religion, my friend. It's not Jews versus Muslims, right?
Yeah.
Because if you turn this over here right now, we're explaining to people what Zionism is and what it's not. You can see right here, Orthodox Jews defending the Palestinian people. Yeah. Why? Because they don't believe in the actions that Israel is taking out, killing innocent people. The Jewish faith doesn't, promote this, right? So they're trying to defend their own faith, saying that they're tarnishing our reputation and saying that by wearing the kippah and saying that we're Jewish people. They may be Jewish people, but they're not representing the Jewish faith, right?
Yeah.
And this is where Islam has never had really a problem with Jews, because the history speaks for itself. Before 1946, guess for how long Muslims, Jews, and Christians lived in this land side by side for?
Quite a while, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
if you would check it.
Time.
Yeah. So you know about
100 years.
Yeah. 1,200 years.
1,200.
Yeah. Under Islamic rule, this place was peaceful.
Yeah.
Right. The Jews were allowed to practice their own faith according to their own book. The Christians were allowed to practice their own faith according to their own book. The meaning, the ruling system within each faith.
Yeah.
You were allowed to implement their own laws.
Yeah.
Right. So Islam allowed that. Right. But after the Ottoman Empire fell, you see this slow degradation of Palestinian people. And it's pretty.
So they're being pushed out of the country.
Yeah. Either they've gone into Jordan or Egypt, or they just moved into Lebanon. Yeah. But they were moved out of these regions here, right?
Is that because of the fall of the Ottoman?
So the Ottoman Empire fell.
Yeah.
And in the UK, a declaration was made between Arthur Balfour and someone called Rothschild, right? These two people, Rothschild was the head of the Jewish community within Britain, and Arthur Balfour was a British foreign minister. These two people had the agreement. The letter's only 67 words long.
All right.
But it's the reason why we have this issue today. Two people in the UK decided that, that land over there, you Jews can take it, right?
Oh, right.
So there's no problem. I understand, like Nazi, Jews fleeing Nazi Europe. I understand that.
Yeah.
But there were people already living here. This was a 95+% Palestinian Arab population already.
Oh, so they're just being pushed out because some two random visas basically just said to have this land for you.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Right. And in the background, France tries to play innocent, but there were other countries that were involved, and I've just highlighted that there. If you go home tonight, you can look it up. The Sykes-Picot Agreement. Okay. Right. Very eye-opening, like how multiple powers came in together to for money purposes. Right. They had terrorist regimes organized to carry out terrorist attacks that were both funded by the British and the Americans. So it's
okay.
So the thing is, our government is corrupt, right? You agree with me on that point, right? And that's where we're trying to call out the government for what they're doing, right? Because they don't care. The COVID was a beautiful example, right? They don't care about your welfare, right, or your health, or your social, let's say, health, or the circumstances that you live in. All they want is your tax, money, and they'll use your tax to do their dirty wars. They'll have people like me, yourself, recruit for their army, right? Fight their dirty wars, and once we're killed or we have PTSD, we commit suicide. They'll just give our family a badge of honor, a little piece of mail, and say, "Oh, thank you for your service."
Because they don't care that because it's not their life.
No,
at risk.
They just treat us like pawns, and I don't want a government where I'm treated like a pawn.
Yeah.
So this is what we're trying to raise awareness about. The government is corrupt, number one, and the propaganda that they have against Islam is completely false.
Okay.
Right. Just trying to raise awareness about that. So when you go, take this video. It's a YouTube channel that goes about Islam, Merciful Servant.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
And all this is free as well, by the way. Right. But these two things that they've always whatever the media does propaganda against, I'm going to stand for that.
Oh, okay.
So if it's Palestine or it's Islam, I'm going to stand up for that. And whenever an injustice happens as a Muslim, I have to stand for it. I have to speak my own voice, if that makes sense. Yeah. So,
am I right to take like one of these?
Of course you can. That book there, this is all just like, because a lot of people think Islam is like something like a culture or something. It's not. It's a belief system.
Yeah.
So that's like the misconception that the media's put. That's like only for like Pakistanis, Arabs, and these people in the East or Africa. Islam's a belief system in the sense that we believe there's only one God, and not as if like a fairy tale. This book here gives a logical argumentation for why there has to be a creator, right?
Okay. Oh yeah.
And this one's about the Quran. There's a lot of misconceptions about the Quran. That's why we're giving copies of the Quran and giving information about the Quran as well.
Well, that's great. No, thank you very much for your time. Yeah,
No. It's me. They have to be done.
I have to get it out.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. If someone in my community is doing it, so for example, I've not seen anybody from the Blackburn community do it here. We're from out of town, from Bury.
It's good that you're getting, actively trying to get people out.
Yes.
For awareness. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm gonna get going. What's your name?
Hamza.
I'm David.
David, free head off. Just give a copy of the Quran.
Yeah.
When you're reading the Quran, notice it will jump from topic to topic. It's not like a storybook. When you're reading it, it'll be all over the place. So we might talk about Moses, mid-page might start talking about divorce.
Oh.
Reason being is because the Quran was revealed over a period of 23 years. Bits and pieces. I've given you one of these, right?
Yeah.
I was revealed in bits and pieces over a period of 23 years. And whenever, like an issue happened in the community, revelation. So let's say a couple want to get married. This is about marriage will be revealed on that day. So whenever you're reading it and you notice it just shifts topic, it's just a new day's revelation.
Oh, okay.
Because it didn't come all at once. It came all period.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time. Nice to meet you too.
Take care.
Thank you. I'll get this for you.
We're here every Saturday, 12 to 2. So if you have any questions, I'm here every Saturday.
Thank you very much.